This is a very exciting opportunity to present my work to New York and on the New York stage. I'm very grateful to Stephen Kasher and the good people at the Kasher Gallery for having the exhibition, which is my first one-person show in New York. And there are 40 prints. And I think it's fair to say that they're the finest prints that I've ever made. And that's the truth. I reprinted everything that I printed before from my show from the show at the High Museum in Atlanta and from the show at Jackson Gallery in Atlanta because I was asked to make larger scale prints. And I found that if I started with a larger scale print, I could then make a better version of the smaller scale print like these behind me, which I had not anticipated. The prints are really rich and dimensional, and they satisfy every need I've ever had in the almost 50 years that I've been doing photography. I never imagined that I would someday make prints as strong as these are. ILFORD Gallery Gold Fibre Silk, the long version of the name of the material that much of us just call gold fiber silk, turned out to be an extraordinary discovery for me because I saw in the material a way to make my prints richer and more expressive than I had ever done before. And I spend a lot of time working. I've had a lot of experience in fine printmaking, both in black and white and in color in the past. And this reminds me more of the time when I used to do water bath developing and contact printing from 8 by 10 inch black and white negatives, because the range of tonality that you can find in this material, and you anchor it with the black. And the richness of the black in this paper, and I've expressed this to students of mine of late, that is the key. You have to understand the power of black, not just as a solid mass, but the way that it actually creates the dimensionalism in a photographic print. And even if it's just this tiny little amount, like no bigger than the head of a pin, the eye will find it and it will give it gravity. It brings gravity to the image. And in some of the pictures, as you'll see around here, black is a very dominant aspect of the picture, but in some cases there's almost no black, but the black that's in it unifies all of the middle range, all of that important part of the middle range. It's like Beethoven's quartets, you know. There's something really beautiful, but you need that bass note in there to really bring it closer to the earth. And that's how that functions for me in these photographic prints. And I'm just astonished at how consistent it is and how beautiful it is, and the whites are very clean. But I've never been happier in almost a half century of printmaking. And I studied with Harry Callahan, remember, who really was a taskmaster. I lament the fact that he's no longer with us, because I would have loved an opportunity to show these pictures to him. I'm of a generation who not only sees itself as being photographers, but being printmakers. Now, I don't think that's the case today. A lot of people just sort of count on the digital technology to give them an adequate print. But the potential in photography, just like any expressive medium, is through the execution of the final presentation. And you can see well, you can have a strong image, but when you execute the final print, Ansel Adams talked about it a lot. The negative was the score, and the print was the performance. And I think that really holds true in this particular case. And if he were around today making color prints, he'd probably print on this paper too. This completes my work. So a paper like this becomes really an extension of who I am and what I am as an artist. And people can recognize what I can do because I can demonstrate it with this material.